Hello, you join me at the Zone 7 motorbiking facility north of Cape Town, and I'm here because I have an idea, and as soon as they kick those youths off the track, I'll have this place all to myself.
Now, normally when we come up with an epic idea like this, we like to edit the video to epic music and combine it with slow motion visuals, kind of like this. But the Jimny is not really that kind of car, is it? Sure, it's tough as nails, but it's tiny and quite adorable. The Jimny is supposed to be all about fun, and while throwing it around a motocross course, I think I might have said something like, "This is the most fun I've ever had in a car."
This is the most fun I've ever had in a car. Keep your Aston Martins and your Ferraris and your Audi R8s and your racetracks. This is the best thing you can do in something with 4 wheels and an engine. Right, I'm going to try and review this Jimny while driving on this motocross course. So, the new Jimny is a little bit shorter but wider than its predecessor. Although the wheelbase has remained the same, the track is 40 mils wider as well. So it feels a lot more stable. The other one felt like, you know, it could kind of fall over at any point. Now, if you're familiar with the previous generation Jimny, the one thing you're really going to notice about this one is the interior space has increased a lot, and you really can feel it when you're in here. I mean, look how much headroom I have. And the big improvement is for the rear passengers. There's an extra 40 mils of legroom, which is huge. I mean, 40 mils doesn't sound like a lot, but in car design terms, it's basically an acre. And I actually had 4 people in here the other day, and everyone was comfortable. It was super impressive. This new Jimny is actually quite fancy. I mean, there's a touchscreen infotainment system in here, which I think makes it the only Suzuki in this country where you can get a touchscreen, which is pretty ironic. And even though the instrument binnacle in front of me is super retro and it looks awesome, the aircon controls, for instance, are very fancy. They're all digital. There's even hill descent control. Imagine that. I am pretty confident that a Suzuki Jimny can drive over anything on this planet, literally anything. Throw it at the Jimny and you will drive up and over the other side. I am convinced. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh. So they've ditched the old engine and instead they've thrown in a new 1.5 litre naturally aspirated motor, and it doesn't produce enormous amounts of power, but 75 kilowatts and 130 newton meters in a tiny little car like this actually feels like enough. And because of the short gearing and the low range box, you can really make use of every newton meter in there. But if you need to do 120 k's an hour, then the gearbox and engine combinations start to become a bit problematic, and you sit at 120 k's an hour with the engine on just about 4,000 RPM. And then, of course, because this car has the aerodynamic properties of a brick, it gets absolutely nailed by crosswinds.
Let me interrupt myself quickly because there are some important practical issues we need to talk about.
I really want to show you the boot space and the rear seats of the Jimny. Now the first thing you'll notice is that the door is massive. So if somebody's parked quite closely behind you, it's a bit difficult to get into your boot. And then there's the boot itself, which as you can see is tiny. There is a little secret compartment here though, where you could hide a baguette. But as I'm sure most Jimny owners will do, so you will probably have your seats flat like that, and then you've got a whole bunch of space. And this is the big difference between this generation and the car it replaces. In the old generation, the whole back bench just came out and you chucked it in your garage. But with this one, the seats fold flat and you do lose quite a bit of height with this arrangement. There is some strong durable plastic to make sure you don't damage the car, but this plastic is super slippery, so all your stuff just slides around the whole time. And then there is the biggest downside for me, and that is the lack of a parcel shelf. So you can't hide things safely when you're running around the city, and I found that to be pretty inconvenient. I think they really do need to offer a parcel shelf for the back of the Jimny. So I'm sure you're interested to know the price of the Jimny. Well, starts off at 264,900, and for that you get a pretty basic model with steel wheels, for instance. Goes all the way up to 319,900 for the manual GLX that I'm driving now. And interestingly, the 4-speed auto is actually cheaper, just under 300 grand. And with that you get a pretty short service plan, but you do get a really good warranty, 5-year, 200,000 kilometers, which actually makes it one of the longest warranties in the country. And that really shows you how much faith Suzuki has in the little Jimny. This is the best idea I've ever had. I have invented a new sport. This is going to catch on around the world. I'm going to copyright it. I'm going to license it. No one's going to be able to copy me unless, you know, you have a Jimny and a motocross circuit near your home.
I think Suzuki have nailed it with this new Jimny. It has all the elements that Jimny owners and old SJ owners will love, and in many ways it is delightfully old school. But combined with a more modern interior and that retro exterior, I think it's going to attract a whole new audience.
Look, obviously it's a little silly and very few people are going to drive their Jimnys on motocross circuits, if I'm honest. But what this proves, I think, more than anything, is that the Jimny lives up to its reputation of being one of the most fun cars ever made.
You know, sometimes this job really delivers. This was a good day.
Oh, hello. I was just using the Cars.co.za app, the #1 lifestyle app in the South African Android App Store. Have you tried it? It's free.